So you downloaded this wonderful expensive cracked version of a software, and before you installed it, you found a Word or text document within its zip file which instructed you to turn off your internet and antivirus before installing the software. You didn't get worried about it, rather you got super excited and paid heed to the instructions in the text document. If anybody tells you the world is becoming a safe place, he's told you a big lie. It's never getting better. If anybody had asked me in 2010 if cracked softwares were safe, I would say yes. 2014, I would reply with a be careful. 2017, I would pretend as if I didn't know what cracked softwares were. 2022, I would give them a straight no. Why no? Because there are so many alternatives you can opt in for, but then another question pops up, which is, what if there isn't an alternative to the very paid version you want, or the alternatives you came across were all crap? Before I begin with this video, I would like to say a very big thank you to the One Fat Bat hacking crew for sharing with me some of the vital information I put together in this video for you guys. Not only would I be speaking on the dangers of using cracked softwares, I would also do my best to provide solutions for you to be safe. There is no way you can convince people not to use cracked softwares, and for that matter, providing a solution to them would come in handy for us all who send and receive files on the internet.
It can look for your cameras, it can also take pictures.
It accesses your messages, your history.
It can listen to what you say and it can also record you.
So yeah, Pegasus is pretty terrifying.
So, what do you hack?
Если раньше приходилось применять какие-то приемы, чтобы взламывать сайты, всякие эксплойты, софт, программы, какие-то инструменты.
Somewhere around February and March 2022, some popular YouTube accounts got hacked. Some had all their contents deleted. A few were shut down completely. Other popular accounts had cryptocurrency videos playing on their channels without their knowledge. If you were a YouTuber who went through such phase, then I hate to break this to you, but you had a malware on your computer as a result of an installed cracked software. Before we get into details, kindly don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you are facing any challenge on your computer as a result of an installed cracked software, kindly leave that issue in the comment section below and we will be glad to help you out. I know a lot of people watching this video will be willing to use anything so far as it's free. For this reason, I'm not surprised to hear cracked software users who have no idea what a cracked software is. Well, if you have done any of what I'm just about to mention before, great, that was you doing crack. Number one will be installing a pre-cracked software. The success of a pre-cracked software occurs when a hacker downloads the paid version of a software, alters the code by getting rid of the license and then repackaging it. These types of softwares are completely ready to be used right after one has downloaded it from a cracked site and installed it. No serial code entry, no copy and paste in programs files and all that. These are known as pre-cracked softwares. A guy once told me how he previously owned a free version of Adobe Photoshop and how it hurt him so much when he lost the software because he caught a virus which encrypted all his files on his drive, which later on caused him to format his drive and install a new Windows. A free Photoshop. Great. Number two is the serial type of crack. This type of crack only requires you to turn off your internet, install the software and input into each serial request page keys that have been provided in a Word or text document within the zip folder in which the software was packaged. Number three is the keygen. Running a keygen successfully requires you to turn off your internet and antivirus, install the software, run the keygen, fill out a form if any, and then automatically the keygen will generate a fake serial number or product code which you would input into the software's serial code menu. Number four is going to be the patch. This is very easy. After you install the software, you are provided with an icon that looks the same as the original software's icon, which you would copy and paste in the software's directory folder to replace the original icon. Finally, there is the crack exe, loader and reg file. I'm not going to explain these ones, so let's just move on. After testing over 200 softwares, what we got to realize was most of the malwares in different softwares performed the same task, such as stealing people's information from their browsers, pumping up your CPU to 100, thereby making your machine super slow for no reason, cryptocurrency mining, cryptocurrency advertisements, and the creation of shortcuts on your hard drive. There was this particular malware that I personally think was single-handedly programmed by a hungry poor hacker. Really dumb, but very wicked. The malware encrypts all the files on your hard drive, and then within one of the encrypted folders are details of the hacker asking you to contact him to pay some amount of money in order to get your files back.
Modern ransomware is usually a piece of malware that gets on your system, encrypts all of your data, and then holds that hostage, demanding that you contact the gangs that are operating it, paying them in some form of currency before they'll give you the key that decrypts your data and gives it back to you.
There are other malwares like Predator the Thief as reported by Cyber Reason, which steals information like passwords from browsers, cryptocurrency wallets, some personal data, and also can spy on you through your camera without your knowledge. Most other malwares we found were pretty decent. Not that wild, but we managed to dig out a couple of softwares that had dangerous threats in them. There are others as well, but these ones I'm about to mention are more likely to come with threats if you have them on your machine. Now, what they did with most of the cracked version of Windows 11 is to deactivate the antivirus right from the onset, so the malware they had inside could function without your knowledge, especially if you never knew your antivirus was deactivated after the installation process. If you are one of those people using a cracked version of Windows 11, then the best solution is to quickly update your newly installed Windows, and yeah, the problem should be faced. Of course, we couldn't find any threats in the pre-cracked 2020, 2021, and 2022 of Premiere Pro and After Effects. This doesn't make every pre-cracked Premiere Pro and After Effects from other sources safe. There are so many other softwares that I can't mention, but these softwares I just mentioned are softwares that are gathering a lot of downloads these days. So you might have to be extra careful when roaming on the net. Now, let me read a report from Digital Citizens Alliance. We found that 1/3 of illegal softwares contained malwares. We also found softwares downloaded from illegal sources were 28 times more likely to contain malwares than softwares downloaded from legitimate sources. A lot of smarter malwares hides itself, so you may not even know that your machine has been compromised. You could continue using your device for a longer period of time without ever realizing that it has been infected. Further research also made by Cyber Reason estimates that over 500,000 machines have been infected by malwares from just one cracked app. Once a user has downloaded and installed a cracked software, the malware hidden inside can steal information from their computer, and it can even go on to download more malware, making the problem much worse. Paid softwares are usually sold out with protection methods so that unpaid users would not be able to use them. Some protection methods include registering online before use, entering a serial code, etc. Most of these softwares also have trial-based versions users can try out before making complete purchase. Now, what a hacker does is to break the license code inside the software using a reverse engineering method. If you are familiar with programming, you might have come across assembly language. This is what hackers work with to crack a software. Cracking is simply remodifying a paid program in a way the legitimate distributor doesn't want because it makes them lose a lot of money. Cracking a software is actually not difficult, especially if the hacker has studied a particular software for a while. This way, cracking it can be done in minutes after newer versions of the software has been released. In contrast, people who create legitimate programs often have years of experience in software development, and they work with teams of colleagues to go through the software development life cycle. It encompasses several stages that includes everything from determining the title's functionality requirements to testing the product. Every exe file is an executable file which contains a set of instructions which allows it to run on a machine in an HEX or binary format. HEX viewing software display the serial key in an encrypted format, and for that matter, crackers are able to bypass the product activation in the .exe itself. It's very easy to jump on a site and start downloading something based on the reviews you see beneath it, or maybe you got there through a link someone shared with you. Some factors leading to that could be lack of finance to purchase a license, but it still doesn't change the fact that you are engaging in an online crime activity. You know what? Just think about this for a minute. How on earth do you think a bunch of Indians or Russians will just gather together and decide on cracking softwares for people just like that without a catch? Remember, we aren't in 2005. Times have changed. There is always a catch. They rob for you, then they rob from you. Not everybody has that huge chunks of money to purchase softwares, and even with the alternatives that are outside, not all of them are good. Not all of them meet that kind of criteria that people want to work in. With the kind of working environment that we have now, people are looking for excellence and quality, and most of these alternatives can't provide that. Someone might say just get an antivirus. The problem here is before you install the software, it's asking you to deactivate your antivirus. So your antivirus is actually of no use at this point. So the best solution I got for you is to always make sure the machine you are installing these stolen softwares on don't have internet running on them, because that's where these malwares are able to reproduce themselves and, you know, steal information from browsers, turn on your webcam and send feeds back to them wherever they are. And always make sure you don't have any valuable information on your machine, because if you do, then you are doomed. Always do a backup of everything you have. Guess what? If you have a virus running on your machine and it encrypts all your files, these guys are charging around 2,000 to 4,000 just to decrypt your files for you. And if you don't have a backup of whatever important file that you have, then you are actually using cracked softwares at your own risk. And guess what? You can't actually report this. So always do well to stay safe. You know, you can't tell people to stop using cracked software. So the best advice you can give is to get them a solution or something so they could stay safe on the internet. One thing to note is using or distributing pirated softwares constitutes a violation of software copyright law. Companies and individuals face up to 150,000 in penalties for every instance they've also committed a felony, which could land you in jail for 5 years. If you love this video, then sub to my channel will be cracking.